Welcome to installment number 7 of the Quick Fix. This is your bite-sized podcast from Create If Writing and me, Kirsten Oliphant. Coming up today, we're going to talk about how Miley Cyrus killed page views, some helpful checklists for your YouTube videos, and also 3 ways to get a book deal, plus more.
One by one, the stars are disappearing from the horizon. I can't close my eyes.
Hey, and welcome to the Quick Fix. It's me, Kirsten Oliphant. I'm coming to you now from the Create If Writing podcast twice a week, Mondays with a big, long episode, either solo or with an interview, and also on Fridays with this Quick Fix, a shorter podcast episode that's going over the links from my weekly email. If you are not getting this email and you want the links, you want all the links, you can go to createifwriting.com/quick fix to sign up and get them. And since, if you're listening, those links have already gone out for the week, it will take you to the archives where you can find all the links from all the weeks. All the links. Today I've got some really good ones for you, and I'm really excited to dive into the link. So we're going to start with how Miley Cyrus killed page views. Except I'm not fully going to explain that because that was a really catchy title of a article from Mediavine. And Mediavine is the ad network that I am with on my KirstenOliphant.com blog. I'm actually speaking at their conference coming up in April in Charleston, South Carolina. I would love to see you there. So if you're there, if you're going to be there, if you plan to be there now that you've heard about it, because who does not want to go to Charleston? You should all want to go there. You come and find me and tell me that you listened to the Quick Fix. So they did a post all about page views and how that is a terrible metric. Not terrible. They actually were a lot nicer, but they were talking about how we should care more about sessions in Google Analytics and kind of called out some of the tactics that people are using to get more page views and kind of bolster them in a false way that ends up hurting your user experience and not really helping your revenue or anything else. And one of the big things they called out was kind of those slideshow posts. So if you've ever clicked through one of those and it's like, 54 ways to fix French toast, and you click through and instead of like a big long post, you scroll down, you have to click 54 times or whatever to get through the whole thing. Plus there's ads in there, and the one you saw in the, original post that you were actually interested in is like number 48. Super annoying, right? And some bloggers even do this as well. Now, I'm not talking about like a main page where you have snippets and then read more. I'm talking about a post where you click to read the post and then you have to keep clicking to get to like the next paragraph or the next 3 paragraphs. It just inflates your page views and is not a really good metric. So they talk a lot about that, but I really enjoyed kind of the take on reader experience. And so they talk a little bit about the technical side if you're interested in how they are calculating that. So if you're with Mediavine, some people are kind of like, what does this mean for my income? Because they were changing that a bit. But don't worry about your income. Just worry about reader experience and don't try to inflate your page views. But I thought overall their kind of heart behind the article was really good, which is why I'm linking to it. The number 2 link is from Amy Schmittauer, and she was on episode 87 recently, talking about the launch of her book, Vlog Like a Boss. She's a YouTuber, and in the video, she shares how she does her process. And she's talking about TubeBuddy, which is a paid sort of add-on. It's like a Chrome extension. And they had it on AppSumo a little while ago, and I totally wish I'd gotten it. But I didn't. But she does share some ways that she does research, when she uploads tags to the descriptions, how she uses cards and annotations. It's a really helpful video if you're thinking about getting your YouTube channel off the ground or making your videos more effective. So really great link there. The third link is all about book deals. So it's from Maria Ribas of Cooks and Books. And it's 3 case studies showing how people have gotten book deals. And it was a really interesting read. So we're talking traditional book deals. Usually I feel like mostly on here I talk about indie books and indie writers and how you can forge your own path. But I do still have a heart for traditional publishing. And I know some of you indies are like, how do you have a heart for that? We can talk later about that, but I do. And so these were 3 traditional book deals. And I know some of you listening are interested in actually getting a book deal. Now, if you read the case studies, you might, like me, kind of despair at first because she breaks it down into kind of what their platform looks like. And all of the people, all 3, had hundreds of thousands, if not millions of page views per month. So that was like, well, I don't need to read this, but I kept reading anyway. And it was actually really, really good information because one of the things that she focused on was the fact that even with those platforms, which obviously made it easy for them, and we're talking nonfiction. She usually does cookbooks and works with food bloggers. So it made it kind of a no-brainer when you have 4 million page views a month. But at the same time, to get the deal, they still wanted a unique concept or the idea of storytelling and how good of a storyteller was this writer. And I thought that was a really important thing to note. So whether you are trying to get a traditional book deal or you are someone who's an indie author, your voice, your concept, your unique idea, your unique perspective, your ability to tell stories, those are things that are really important, and those really matter in terms of people actually reading your book. So those are really important things in terms of people actually reading your book. So go ahead and read those case studies. Don't worry about the numbers. I know we don't all have 4 million page views, right? I don't think we do. But if you do, even if you do, that it may not be enough to get you a traditional book deal. And also you should think about your own power and do you want that traditional deal? And for food bloggers, a lot of times you do because of the images and things like that in the actual books. So good stuff to read, thinking about your unique voice and doing your own thing. Now I want to share more links, and a lot of these are related to me and my site. Me. So the first one is that if you missed it, this week I did a free workshop on Facebook groups, how to start a Facebook group, how to up your engagement if you have one, and there's just crickets in there. So if you want to watch the replay for that, you can just go to creativewriting.com/FB groups. And it should be really helpful for you if you are trying to get people talking, if you want to know why you need a group versus a page. It answers some of those questions. And so you should definitely hop over and watch that free video. The other thing, speaking of free videos, we are just about to launch the 2017 Profitable Blogging Summit. Now, the summit itself is in April, but Paula Rollo, my co-host and I and co-founder, we are going to be promoting and recording. That's really what I'm spending a lot of time on in the next month. So I'm going to be very, very busy. I've already recorded 3 or 4 sessions, and I can just tell you it's amazing. Amy Schmittauer, who I mentioned earlier with the link on YouTube, did an just insanely actionable session on video and on especially YouTube video that is just, it kind of blew my mind a little bit. It was so good. Now the content for the summit will be free, but only for a limited time. And then you can purchase lifetime access to all the videos. So I would highly recommend you signing up. Now I will leave a link in the email for this, but you can find out more if you go to creativewriting.com/PBS17, Profitable Blogging Summit, hence the PBS. So this is something where I'm going to offer my people who are already on my list a way to easily opt in, but there's also a separate list. So if you're like, I don't want to, subscribe to the quick fix, but I do want to go to the summit, you can do that. And that's fine. So just head over to creativewriting.com/PBS17. But really, if you want all the good stuff, just subscribe to the quick fix. You'll get it all there. If you're wanting to up your photographs and your photography game, whether you are a blogger or someone who's trying to actually make money on photos, if you want to have a better Instagram feed, whatever the case, there is an ultimate bundle going on right now for photography, and I am an affiliate. Now, this is a pretty insane product, and bundles, I'm kind of, just confession, I'm a little over them. I'm a little burned out because I have so much that I have stored up in terms of things I paid for that I can't do. And so you may be like that as well. So here's what I want to say to you about this bundle and why I'm even telling you about it, because there's some other bundles that I have not told you about because I'm just like, no, we're burned out on bundles. This one is really important because, first of all, if you're trying to build an online presence, chances are you need to have some kind of photography skill. And there's also even whole sections on like how to photograph your family better, which is kind of key for me. It's $97 and that's $4,000 worth of product, which is kind of insane. And the course that really caught my eye, there's a course on mastering your DSLR, and it's a $297 course. So even if you are like, okay, I'm buying the bundle, I just want this one course and I'm not going to do anything else, do that, because it's amazing that even that, it's like getting that course for, like a third of the price. So just think about that. If bundles are overwhelming to you, see if there's 1 or 2 things that make that $97 price worth it, and then get it, because these are limited time. They sometimes have a flash sale for them again, but if it's offered next year, all the things in it will be different. So I got last year's, and it had tasty food photography from Pinch of Yum. And that alone made it just super exciting to me. And the thing is, it's not there anymore because that's not what this bundle is about. So they change it. So you do want to look and see if there, are things that you want in there. So anyway, if you want to look at that, again, I'm an affiliate. You can go to creativewriting.com/photo bundle to get your hands on this. We're still in the early bird pricing, so you definitely want to check it out. And lastly, I have a free case study for you from Monday's episode. And I didn't mention it in the episode because as I was writing the show notes, I was like, I need to put this in a case study. I need to go into some more detail. This would be better printed out. So here's what I did. Monday's episode was all about repurposing content. And I shared some creative ways that you can make things that you have already done go the extra mile and bring in money, bring in subscribers, and just do more work for you. It's a way to squeeze out more from things you've already created. And so I talked about the foundation series, which is basically 3 weeks of live trainings. I did an hour a week. And then I packaged that up, added some content, and sold it, and I included it in one of the bundles. I ended up making a total of $2,100 just from this thing that I was kind of doing anyway for free for people. And I've also used it to I think I gained about 500 subscribers. And I'm really not exact, and that's not because I'm trying to hide things. It's because I don't keep track of things well, secret. Anyway, there's a case study that you can download for free. And you can also kind of use it. I put some questions in there, like a guide to help guide you through doing this for yourself. So if you have things that you want to repurpose and figure out how you can kind of make sales or grow subscribers. So you can find that at creativewriting.com/090. That's episode 90 of the Creative Writing Podcast. Let's get on to our featured community member. And this week it is Marianne West from the Sustainable Living Podcast. Now, Marianne is a member of my free and paid communities, and I feel like she's in there every day talking and sharing things. And it's really nice to have another podcaster in there. So if you're listening and you care about things going on in this world and the environment and just kind of having a more sustainable presence, go listen to her podcast. You can find it at sustainablelivingpodcast.com. Marianne, I'm really glad that you are here and part of the community. I'm finishing in record time today, under 15 minutes. What? And so now you can go about your weekend. You've got the quick fix links. If you want to see them, check your email. And if you are not signed up, again, go to creativewriting.com/quick fix so that you can get today's links by going to the archive itself. I'm so thankful that you guys are listening, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. You'll hear me in your earbuds on Monday.